Let's jump into problem 1510A, a statement of changes in equity. We list all of our equity accounts across the top. We say, what did we begin with? How did they change? What did we end with? Let's jump into the problem. NewTech, so part 1, no par shares. Part 2 is going to have shares with par value. I trust you can skip around to whatever thing you think most applies to your class. NewTech Solutions reported the following equity balances on January 1st, 2031. Common shares, 100,000 no par shares issued and outstanding for $1 million. Retained earnings are 800,000. Those are going to be our opening balances here. During 2031, the company completed the following transactions affecting equity. They issued 20,000 common shares for $15 a share. 20,000 times 15, that's $300,000 in new shareholders' equity. Debit, cash, credit, common shares, $300,000. They declared and paid a $1 per share cash dividend on all outstanding shares. Now, the trick to this question is we had 100,000 shares, but we just issued 20,000 more. So a $1 dividend is actually going to be $120,000, right? Because we pay all the shareholders. So there's $120,000 in cash going out to our shareholders. And remember, that affects our retained earnings. Debit dividends, credit cash. And we also say, well, the dividend closes into retained earnings. So sometimes we just debit retained earnings directly. Declared and distributed a 5% stock dividend. All right, so how many shares? Well, we got 120,000 shares outstanding. 5% means, I think that's 6,000, but let's do some calculator math. 6,000 new shares are being issued. So 6,000 new shares. And it says on this date, the market price was $18 a share. Because it's a 5% dividend, it happens at market price, right? If it was a big dividend, we might do it at par value or consider it like the equivalent of a stock split. If it's no par, then no transaction. But because it's a small stock dividend, it happens at market value of $18 a share. 6,000 times 18 is $108,000 of a stock dividend. Last thing, we reported net income of $450. Okay, we've got all the information we need. Now we got to prepare a statement of changes in equity. Let's go. It starts with a 3-line title like all good financial statements do. NewTech Solutions Statement of changes in equity for the year ended and then the date December 31st, 2031. Now our opening line here is the first day of the year. We start and end with dates here. And so the first day of the year, I'm actually going to minimize the calculator. I feel like it's getting in my way. I'm going to move this over just a touch. There we go. So our opening line is a heading, I should say, and we list across our equity accounts. So common shares and retained earnings. I'm getting a little ahead of myself there. And total. Then we're going to say, okay, how many common shares did I have at the start of the year? And the start of the year is a date, January 1st, 2031. So how many dollars worth of common shares did I have? I had $1 million worth of common shares. That's just given information. It's typically going to have to be given to you in these types of questions. So my total shareholders equity when I combine common shares and retained earnings is $1.8 million. That's my starting point. And that would come from last year's statement of changes in equity, the bottom line of last year's. Okay, now how did it change? Well, let's just go through time by time here. So on March 1st, we issued 20,000 shares, $15 a share, $300,000. How does that affect my equity? My common shares go up by $300,000. So I'm just going to say common shares issued. See, this is sometimes called issuance of common shares. And that's the total. The issuing common shares does not affect our retained earnings. Declared and paid a $1 per share cash dividend on outstanding shares. Okay, so cash dividend, I typically would just say dividends, but because we have cash dividends and stock dividends, I'll distinguish between cash and stock. $120,000, that's a reduction to my retained earnings. closes to my retained earnings. So there we go. The stock dividends. $108,000. What does that do? Well, I have $108,000 more worth of common shares in the world, but it reduces my retained earnings, and the effect on my equity is nothing, right? Stock dividends don't affect our shareholders' equity in total. They just affect the accounts within it. The last one, net income on December reported for the year ended December 31st. $450,000. What does that affect? It affects your retained earnings. We add $450 to our retained earnings, and yes, $450 in total. Does not affect the common share values. So that's it. Now we need totals, and our total for the year column is just the date, December 31st, 2031. I guess it's a row. And there we go. So we just need the total and we're done. So 1 million, 1.3, 1.4, 1,408,000, double underline, $sign. That's a bottom line here. Oh, I'm not going to be able to do this one without my calculator. Come on back, calculator. 800 minus 120 minus 108 plus 450, 1022. Again, $sign at the top and bottom. Then I just add across 1408 plus 1022, 2430. You may be wise, now that's good, you may be wise to also add down just to make sure you haven't done an arithmetic error. 1800 plus 300 minus 120 plus 450, 2430. So it worked both ways. Just a sensible thing to do. So there you go. We've solved part one of this exercise where we had no par value, but now let's look at it when we do have a par value, and that does change a few details. The key one being that there's going to be another column for additional paid-in capital / contributed surplus if you're in Canada. Assume instead of no par shares, NewTech Solutions shares had a par value of 4. Their January 1st equity balances were, and there they are, 100,000 common shares, $4 par. So 100,000 times 4 is 400,000, and that means if I had $1 million in common shares equity, 600,000 was additional paid-in capital, and the same 800,000 retained earnings. It says assume the March 1st, June 15th, October 1st, and December 31st transactions, assume these things occurred the same as above. Prepare the statement of changes in equity. Okay, there's a few differences because of the additional paid-in capital account, because of the par value on common shares, but the title is not different. Let's do it. NewTech Solutions. That W isn't up to my high standards. NewTech Solutions. Move this. That's in my way. That's the problem. Statement of changes in equity. For the year ended then the date, December 31st, 2031. Okay, so we want to give our account headings across the top. We got common shares, we got additional paid-in capital, retained earnings, and total. And again, if we had more accounts like preferred shares, AOCI, those would all go across the top. This could become a very wide financial statement, and it is for a lot of companies. But let's start with common shares. We will use the American terminology of additional paid-in capital. My Canadian brothers and sisters, you know you're going to use contributed surplus and our retained earnings. And we've got a totals column here. Okay, so we start with January 1st balances. Those are the balances that are just given in the question. 400,000 was our common shares. Additional paid-in capital of 6, and retained earnings is 8. I'm just reading them off there and going from memory. I remember which one was which. And you can see the total is 1.8 million. And then we just say, what happened? Well, we issued common shares. Now, when we issue common shares, whenever any common shares are changing hands here, we've got to contend with the par value. So it's going to be a little different from what we had done previously. Here we said, oh yeah, it's $300,000 of new share capital, and there is, we got to break it down to par and additional paid in capital. We issue 20,000 shares for $15 a share. The par is 4, so that means there's $80,000 of par shares, which that's what we credit common shares for, and the rest, 220, is going to be additional paid in capital. So let's get to it. My common shares go up by 80,000. My additional paid in capital goes up by 220. Common shares issued, I should say. I just said common shares. Common shares issued, 80,000, 220. No retained earnings change there. And so overall, we're up $300,000. And I think you're going to see our totals are going to match up here, like the totals of the column should line up, I think. We'll see. Next up is cash dividends. And it's just that June 15th, we declared and paid a $1 per share dividend. And again, same as above, we have 120,000 shares. Yeah, the par values are different, but it's still a $120,000 dividend. So retained earnings goes down by the amount of the dividend, and the total goes down. Does not affect additional paid in capital, does not affect common shares. But our stock dividend will. We distributed a 5% stock dividend. We said there's 6,000 new shares. Market price is $18 a share. Okay, so what's happening here? Well, 6,000 new shares, $4 is par value, so let's multiply by 4 for the par. 24,000 goes to common shares. And I guess if it's $4 is par, then $14 is additional paid in capital. 84,000 goes to additional paid in capital. And there we go. So let's fill that in. Stock dividend. And we said 24,000 goes to common shares. 84,000 goes to additional paid in capital, and it comes out of retained earnings. So 24 plus 84 is $108,000, and that's zero right at the end of the day. And so very similar to what we've got up there, we just split the plus between common shares and additional paid in capital. Our net income is the next line down, and it's just going to be the same as what's up there. Net income doesn't affect common shares, doesn't affect additional paid in capital. It helps our retained earnings, so plus to our retained earnings and plus to total shareholders' equity. And then now we're ready for totals all the way around, and our total line here is the year-end date, December 31st, 2031. So 400 plus 80 plus 24 is 504. 600 plus 220 plus 84 is, I need a calculator, 600 plus 220 plus 84, 904. I put 905 for some reason, 904. Our retained earnings column isn't any different, but let's just confirm that. 800, I'll leave off the last 3 zeros, minus 120, minus 108, plus 450, 1022, it is the same. And our grand total ought to be the same here, 504 plus 904 plus 1022, 2430, it is the same. Double underlines under all of these bottom lines, dollar sign at the top and bottom of each column. And there we have it. We've got ourselves a beautiful, well, two beautiful statement of changes in equity. Statements of changes in equity, I suppose, says it because it's plural. Thanks so much for watching. That wraps up 1510A. If you make it to the end of these, I'm always looking for a like or a sub. It helps me out a lot. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye-bye. The next video in our series is right up here. And if you want a supercut of all of the videos in this series, that's the one down below.